State Road, chama, estos son demoras de hasta 1 hora, ¿no?
1 hora de retraso, el tráfico empieza desde Sheridan Street, está totalmente cerrado por actividad. Y 95 Sur entre Ivery Road y la Florida Turnpike con Golden Glades en este momento. Las alternativas que le damos, la US 1, la 441 o la...
So he has a very important job, obviously, on the force.
That's amazing how they do that, too, and how they can train these dogs to know exactly what they're looking for. It really is.
Smart dogs. Big thank you again to K9 Griffin with the Broward Sheriff's Office and his picture.
Con el sabor de Paya to Go, que es puro estadio. Comparte entre amigos los pan de bonos más top, los palitos de queso que son increíbles, calientitos, sabrosos que te harán sentir en el centro del campo de la delicia. Encuéntralos en 7-Eleven.
Imagínense, Sheridan es al norte de Hollywood. O sea, toda la congestión ahora es Hollywood, Hallandale Beach, Pembroke Park, Ives State, North Miami y hasta el Golden Glade.
Llegó el Glade.
Statement. What's interesting, Glenn, is these foundation models and what you do on top of them. So we've covered this quite a bit on Tech Tuesday, but it's worthy of just a 10-second review. A large language model is like the pipes of the internet. You don't necessarily need to know how they work. You don't necessarily have to have every company involved in the build out of the pipes and infrastructure of the internet.
Los gastos no compensan.
Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Those are some of the main cities that you're going to see. Now, one thing you need to be aware for you and the kids, and a lot of schools are actually letting out early on Monday because, you know, they want the kids to be able to participate.
I'm in a phone booth, baby. Number scratched on the wall. I'm in a phone booth, baby. Number scratched on the wall. I'm new in Chicago. Got no one else to call. Been walking all day. Old friends I can't find. Hawks so cold, had to buy me some wine. Calling you, baby, took my very last dime. Loving you was always a cost that I never bought till we started drifting apart. Now I know the love that you give is something that I've got to get. Gotta make come back to your heart.
called Bill and wondered if he was asleep as she let the phone ring. He answered finally, and she was relieved that he didn't sound sleepy. "Are you sleeping?" she asked hesitantly. He recognized her voice instantly and was pleased she'd called him. He'd seen all her broadcasts from the hospital and was keeping his TV on in case she came back on. "Sorry, I was in the shower. I was hoping you'd call me. How's it going?" "To sleep here. She wishes you didn't have to. That's all for now," he said and left the podium without further comment. They had been told earlier that there would be no questions. He had told them all the doctors knew themselves. The rest was in God's hands. Her cell phone rang almost as soon as the doctor left them. It was Jack. "Get an interview with him." "I can't." He recognized her voice instantly and was pleased she'd called him. He'd seen all her broadcasts from the hospital and was keeping his TV on in case she came back on. "Sorry, I was in the shower. I was hoping you'd call me. How's it going?" "There's nothing much going on," she said, sounding tired, but happy to talk to him. "We're just sitting around waiting." On the scene, and broadcasts all over the country had been interrupted to bring viewers the news that the biggest disaster in the nation's history, since the bombing in Oklahoma City in '95, had occurred in Washington. There were already over 100 known casualties and no way to assess how many more there would be. And a screaming child with her arm blown off had already been filmed by every camera crew on the scene as she was rushed away by rescue workers. Hours, Maddie's life was completely crazy. There was an area roped off for the press at the hospital and coffee stations for them outside. The press secretary came to talk to them every half hour, and they were all trying to corner every possible member of hospital personnel they could. But for the moment, there was no news and no story. The president had been in surgery since noon, and at 7 o'clock he hadn't come out yet. The bullet had pierced his lung and damaged his kidney and spleen. It was in the hands of the gods and the surgeons. After Jack called, Maddie sat around drinking more coffee for a while. She'd had gallons and had barely eaten all day, but she felt too heartsick over what had happened to be hungry. A little while later, she called Bill and wondered if he was asleep as she let the phone ring. He answered finally, and she was relieved that he didn't sound sleepy. "Are you sleeping?" she asked hesitantly. He recognized her voice instantly